Yo, what's going on, guys? And welcome back to the channel. I'm the Toy Sheik, and as you saw from the intro, we're going to be checking out another old school cartoon finally released in action figure form for the first time. I've been waiting for this figure for a really long time. It's an import, it's unlicensed, and it is Count Vegetarian. And here we go, Count Vegetarian, as we know him, Count Duckula. But like I said, it's unlicensed. But who brung this to us? The company is going to be Happy Childhood. They gave us the veg count, and this is the box he comes in. Nothing too special to make it pop out on your shelf besides the colors. And it's been beat the shit out of on its way from Hong Kong. On the back of the box, you do get the Count himself. What you're getting inside: tons of heads, tons of hands, tons of accessories. On the all this nice little wording that you have here, this is the lyrics for the intro song, as well as the story highlighting how he came to be a lover of all things vegetables and not the blood-sucking vampire lore that we are all known accustomed to. You'll have to see what happens by reading this. No, not really, but if you ever wanted to know the actual lyrics to the intro song and what is said in the lore, word for word, there it is. They gave him tomato sauce. He became the Count of Veggie. So on there, the box, like I said, nothing too crazy. We do have the flap inside. He is out of there. I like to play with my figures for a couple weeks before I check them out to see what they're really all about. So on this one, the Count Duckula, the British children's animation show from 1988 that ran through 93, 4 seasons. This is the first season released in North America, thanks to Nickelodeon, which did get the distribution rights in 1984, bringing about Danger Mouse, which is where you're going to find the first appearance of Count Duckula. This is the figure right here that comes in the package, just like so, all nice and snuggle with all his heads and his cape and accessories. You get a big tray of hands. So to give you guys an update, in case it's been a long time and you have forgotten about this character that was produced by Toyhaul Productions back in the day, the company responsible for Danger Mouse, if the old heads remember that. No, a lot of the young kids won't know what that is. I see it at the thrift store sometimes, and I never knew that Count Duckula's first appearance was on Danger Mouse, so I definitely got to pick it up now. In that show, however, he does play a villain where he's an actual vampire. Upon the distribution rights by Nickelodeon back in the day to take on Danger Mouse, they showed interest in this character design of Count Duckula. They wanted to produce a show surrounding this protagonist and not the antagonist, if you will, and gave him a supporting cast of characters to go along on his adventures: Igor and Nanny, which you will see in every episode, as well as the teleporting castle, which takes them on their adventures. Now, as the show is beginning, you always have the narrator, aka basically Vincent Price, showing you what's going to happen, giving you a scary intro, if you will, for the horror that awaits of Count Duckula. So this is the first time that we would get this figure in toy form. Up until this point, 1988 did see some PVC figures released by Rainbow Toys on cardback. You can see some pictures of those here. There were also some other PVC figures released of different costumes of Count Duckula specifically, as well as some side characters that you would have never gotten in any other form besides that way. I don't know if those were released by Rainbow Toys or if those were actually produced by Toyhaul Productions and were officially licensed products. Maybe you could have got them at shops and whatnot that were around during that time. They seem like every time I see them, they don't come on a cardback or in packaging. If they did, it was plastic, so it seemed more like an open counter type style of toy. They are very rare and hard to put together that set. In the UK, they were heavily distributed, but in North America, pretty much none of them. No one knows that they even exist. So back then, you had those. You had some clip-ons that are like little bag clip-ons you can put wherever. I used to have one of those, actually. I got rid of that a long time ago. Shout out Leshire Toy Shop over in the UK for sending that over to me a long time ago, as well as some plushies. So up until then, no action figures of this status that we could ever get, and this type of amazingness. But this figure is really cool. It's got a lot of articulation. I will say this cape right here, which is going to be my biggest gripe, as I was saying, it does sit in this little groove right here. It's not magnetic or anything, which it definitely should be to make it work better. Luckily, it doesn't just fall off all the time, but you definitely want to get into whatever position you're in, and then you can put the cape on. As well as if you're like, he's very top heavy, obviously with a lot of a fat head that weighs a lot, and then you have his cape and whatnot. So if you put him in overbalanced positions, a lot of times he's going to fall over or whatnot. But you do have a lot of movements and things you can do, being you have ankle articulation, you have the knee articulation, you got the waist up here, shoulder, elbow, and then obviously the ball joints in the hands, so you can switch out, as well as the head. Good movement, somewhat good movement. You can't really look up too much because of his bill, so just kind of side to side and a little bit. You can do the facial expressions to kind of express his feelings that he really is going to. So over here you do have his hands. You got his little open hand. You can put his carrot in there if you're on a flat surface. That'll hold there. I guess you could probably use this hand right here as well. Put the little carrot or a broccoli in. These two hands right here, you have two, like I was saying, one is just a fist style and one is the open hand that you can put your accessories in, whether it be his cane or his little magnifying glass. You can put it upside down, inside out, whatever. You can put the broccoli in there, I would imagine so, right? There you go. Broccoli in there. So those are hands for that. You got his pointer hand. I love that one. Yeah, that's right, kid. We got you. As well as his nice little hand right there as well. So we're really composed with those. You have Gaston and Pierre, the French criminals. They're the little clock bats. I won't be using those unless you put those like in the background of a diorama or something like that. So on here you have your pegs. They're easy to take the little hands off as well as this headpiece. You see the little peg there. Let's put this one on. Let's put the vampire, the scary one. A lot of his family members will look like this. Also, I think there's an episode or so where he becomes like evil like this and Igor's all excited. So if you guys are looking for some modern Count Duckula media to consume, you're going to be shit out of luck unless you can travel back to 2015 or find the show online. There was a new incarnation of Danger Mouse that was created in 2015 with Count Duckula being reintroduced to that show. He is back to his original villainous ways, a la the original Danger Mouse where he was introduced. He was a villain, he was a vampire, so he would not be the cuddly vegetable Count that we know and love in that new version, but that's the only new content that's out that I know of, so if you would like to see that show, I'm kind of curious as well. Up until that point, we're waiting on Happy Childhood to send us the Wrecking Maid, which was just shown off recently. Obviously, that's going to be Nanny, so they're obviously going to put the squad together. You're going to have Igor. You're going to have, who knows who they make. Probably the only company that is going to be making them. So follow them, pick them up. Happy Childhood, bringing our childhood back to make us happy, if you will. We're going to end it off with some comparison shots of Mr. Duck himself in with a ton of other amazing figures you get to see from the different lines, their sizes and whatnot, and just have some fun with it. So first off, we're going to show him next to the Super 7 Ultimates Donatello. Awesome height difference there. Obviously one bigger than Donatello. Then we're going to switch over to NECA, the Mummy Michelangelo he found on one of his adventures. You can see the huge size difference on there as well. Swinging it back to vintage, we have a vintage Ninja Turtle. Much better height difference, much better color-wise as well. Pretty fun. And then to round it off, we have the Mondo Rogue. I know it's ridiculous, these don't go in scale at all, but I just want to have a little bit of fun. I actually love that Rogue figure. There it is, the Count, who's awesome. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Good night out there, whatever you are.